I think something no one can deny is that COD Zombies feels different now. If we look back to the so-called glory days of COD Zombies, we think of Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, we're doing reverse rainbow perk challenges, and going for super high rounds was a productive use of our time. Compared to now, where most people can't even get past round 25 because they get really bored. Say what you will about the old days, nostalgia is a very powerful drug. Maybe we were just as bored then as we are now, but I definitely feel like the old days were a lot more entertaining for going for them high rounds and doing them fun challenges. Today we're gonna talk about why COD Zombies feels so different, and why the game felt so much more enjoyable 5 to 7 years ago than it does now. Also, don't forget to leave a comment and tell me what your favorite COD Zombie map is. Now it's time for our video sponsor, me. If you want to show some support on my channel, you can do that in a few ways. The free way is to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and then leave a comment below. But if you want to go the extra mile and help fund my videos, then you can become a member to this channel where you'll get a few cool benefits. These involve shout outs, behind the scenes looks at videos, and much more. You can also check out all my other channels that I have in the description. Thank you very much. Now let's get right into the video. Burnout. Something that follows you for your whole life, whether you're at work, watching a TV show, doing other stuff, and playing video games. Burnout is fucking awful, and as someone who does YouTube and has felt it multiple times, it can be very discouraging. Think of it this way, right? COD Zombies has been a game mode for the past, 12 years now or so? And out of all them years, we have 10 iterations of the game, both by Treyarch and non-Treyarch games. The only really new game mode we having besides Zombies being Extinction, and that game mode's almost 10 years old now. So one of the reasons why you might be really burnt out is because you've been playing the game so much, and the game mode, in the grand scheme of things, hasn't changed that much. Now sure, there's been a lot of quality of life changes and a lot of new game modes and a lot of new ways to play. If you look at Nakdur and Toten and compare it to a map from Cold War, night and day difference. But the core fundamental gameplay is still there. Load in, survive as long as you can. Or exfil, I guess. What differs this from multiplayer and people not being burnt out on that is that there's more of a competitive nature in MP. With Zombies, sure, get to higher round than your friends, beat your personal record, but there's no PvP in Zombies. It's just PvE, which stands for player versus environment. So yeah, if I played the game mode every day, I'd be burnt out, so there's no reason why you wouldn't be either. Now there are a few exceptions to this rule. I know people that play Zombies every day and have been for the past 10 years, and I think that'd be enough to set me bonkers. Don't get me wrong, I love the game mode, I love everything about it, but playing the game mode religiously every day for the past 10 years, I mean, if you enjoy it, fair enough. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. All I know is that I could never do that. The most I play Zombies is when a new game comes out and I'm getting familiar with the mechanics, or I'm trying to level up, or trying to get stuff done. Maybe that's an odd take to have when playing Zombies. Maybe you guys play it every day as well. But I feel less burnt out by not playing it as much. And I feel like my overall games are better as well as a result of this. I can play for longer and I can enjoy what each individual map has to offer, and I'm not stuck in this repetitive cycle of play, just get to a high round and leave. Another reason why you might be feeling burnt out is the fact that we haven't really had any new content for the past year or so. Now we have Vanguard Zombies, and that has 2 round-based maps, so technically, yes, we've been given content, but in the grand scheme of things, we all know that that is not the quality content that we deserve. And the devs at Treyarch know this as well. We know that Vanguard was a bit of a shit show from the very start, and we know that they were pushed to release the game mode when it was nowhere near ready, and Treyarch did an amazing job with the time and resources they had. I'm gonna say it louder for the people in the back of the class. Just because Vanguard Zombies is bad doesn't mean Treyarch is bad. It's not their fault that Activision forced them to release sludge. That's the way I look at it anyway, but without this new content and not really having new stuff to play, you're kind of forced to play the older stuff, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it's nostalgic, sometimes you'll play things and you'll learn something new, or you'll learn how to play a map a different way, but a lot of the excitement is playing new content, completing that Easter egg for the first time, loading into a map for the very first time, Now, some people will say during the down period of Black Ops 2, where we had, well, Extinction and Exo Zombies, we didn't really get experience this great new content. And most people just played Black Ops 2. I think there's a few factors for that. First of all, Exo Zombies was the first non-Treyarch Zombies game mode we had. So we obviously cared and we knew the game mode wasn't that great, but we still played it anyway, and yeah. But I also think this is because Black Ops 2 had such a variety of maps and things to do. And since we were all younger, a lot of us didn't play a lot of the maps when they came out right away. Sure, we all played Transit Town and all that, but this would have been when we didn't have jobs and we couldn't buy the season pass, and we'd have to beg our parents to please let us have Die Rise. Please let us have Die Rise. So a lot of the content we watch from bigger zombies YouTubers, we wouldn't even have that on disc. Or consoles, I should say. So a lot of that time in between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, a lot of us were still getting new content, technically, because, well, we bought older maps we didn't play. And since Black Ops 2 came out and it got a lot of popularity from the community in general for zombies, people that hadn't played Black Ops 1 or World at War went back to play them games and bought maps from that games. Could the argument be used here? Sure. With Cold War coming out, it brought in a lot of new players, so a lot of people would have bought Cold War and went back to older games as well. But with zombies in the way it is now, it's a lot more popular than it was back in the day. A lot more people know about it, even though not as many people play it. So yeah, the content we have now, sure, it's, you know, fine or whatever, but we haven't had really any new content in like a year. The next time we're getting zombies is in like 2 years. And don't get me wrong, this comes with benefits as well. The next zombie game should be incredible, and I'm fully expecting it to be. But I also believe the fact that there's not really been any new content as of recently, again, acknowledging Vanguard and the fact that it has a round base, but it's not really like good content. I think this feeds into the fact that Zombies doesn't feel the same just because there's not really anything for us to play at the moment if you've played everything already. So yeah, next topic. Now the final reason why COD Zombies feels different for you, the one you've been dreading, the one you refuse to believe because you can't grow up. You were 12 when you started playing this game. You're growing up. As we get older, our likes and dislikes start to change a little. For example, food. When I was a kid, I liked chicken nuggets and I would hate broccoli. And don't get me wrong, I still hate broccoli, but I like olives now. I used to hate olives when I was younger, but now I like them. The same mindset can also be reversed and not with food. It can be with video games as well. In general, you can just start disliking something because you start to not like it. And yeah, it sucks. It does suck. It's not the ideal situation. An example for me personally that isn't called Zombies is the Pokemon games. Now, I really enjoy my memories with them, and I enjoy the new iterations, but some of the games I really enjoyed the most were Diamond and Pearl. I really enjoyed them as a kid, and found myself constantly being engaged, and Gen 4 is my favorite generation of Pokemon. There's such a cool roster that you can choose from. But now going back to the older games like Diamond and Pearl, I'll spend like an hour or so playing it, and I'll just be so bored. I think this is a bit on nostalgia and the fact I'm a bit more grown up and it takes a little bit more to entertain my little pea brain. And don't get me wrong, I know that Gen 4 and Diamond and Pearl are great games and they've been acknowledged for being really fun games. I just personally think I've grown up from that style of video games. And that's not a bad thing because I still love Pokemon. I play Pokemon Go, I love Pokemon cards, I like spending money on Pokemon cards. So I haven't grown out of Pokemon itself per se, I've just grown out on the same formula they go over and over with again. Actually, Pokemon games are a great example of this. A lot of the mainstream ones, I'm not talking about Arceus or, you know, Detective Pikachu, whatever. I'm talking about the main, like, you fight gyms, you get to the end, legendary Pokemon, end game, and that's it. I just don't find myself craving to go back to these games and play them. I'm quite happy with the memories I have with them, and leaving it at that. Sometimes it can change though. Sometimes you'll get back into something when you're a bit older. That definitely happened with me in Pokemon cards. I'm really back into them now and I love opening them. So just because you've grown up from something and you've grown out of it doesn't mean you'll never go back to it and enjoy it the same again. So that's why, in my opinion, COD Zombies feels different right now. And I know times look dark, but we should be excited for the future because there's a renaissance coming and people are going to absolutely fall in love with the Zombies game mode once again. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.